Can we finally lead Nebraska to the college football playoffs? So coming into our third year serving as offensive coordinator here at Nebraska, we have championship aspirations following back-to-back top 10 finishes. Coming into our third year, we have a senior class led by quarterback Smothers, halfback Irvin Jr., and at wideout ALANTE Brown. We come into this third year number 9 in the country, and we kick it off against the Roadrunners at home. Let's see if we can get a big win. Get it going on a 3rd and 8 screen pass. The beautiful spin to Coldest Crawford with the coldest move of the game so far. 1st and 10, Smothers evading traffic, connects downfield for 31 yards to Victor Jones Jr. And then BOWMAN, Ryan BOWMAN, remember that name, had a huge year for us. 6 yards out, touchdown Huskers, first on the year. Very next possession, 2nd and 6, and here is Lance Burley's introduction to the Husker Nation. 41 yards out, a touchdown. The redshirt freshman showing you why he was the number 4 overall wideout in last year's recruiting class, and another great catch there by Burley, 24 yards out. And on the triple option, Smothers almost makes his way into the end zone, tackled short down at the 3, would later go out with an injury with back spasms, would miss next week's game against A&M, but BOWMAN would seal the deal here, 4 yards out. It would be a big win early in week 1, 34-7 Huskers. And you can see the stat line here. Both quarterbacks, Smothers and Purdy, did a great job, but Purdy now, as a senior, has to have a big start against a top 10 Aggie team on the road. So here we are from Kyle Field. Purdy feeling the pressure early. 3rd and 12, evades the sack, but not on target. Started off very poorly, and Irvin Jr. not faring much better. The accuracy was off, and it was all Aggies early here in this first half against our Huskers offense. But finally, late in the first half, we finally get a connection there to the redshirt freshman Burley with a 15-yard curl route, and then over the middle, Burley battling through makes it a 1st and goal. Picking up 2 plays later, 3rd and goal, and this pass was caught. ALANTE Brown gets it on the board and makes it a 1-possession game heading to the locker room. Following that touchdown, Purdy, though, feeling the pressure here from the Aggie defense, a 10-yard sack, and then on 1st and 10, finds ALANTE Brown on the slant, but the next pass takes a hit, jars that ball out, and Matthews picks it off, which was a huge mistake by our Husker offense with 4 turnovers at that point. Just a minute remaining, we finally make it a 1-score game. Janiron Bonner with a 7-yard reception. And with under 30 seconds remaining, Crawford with a catch as we tried to drive down the field and tie this game up, but unfortunately, the yips began to begin. 3rd and 10, a deep ball, a huge catch, dropped by Jones Jr., and unfortunately, this would end our unbeaten season here at only week 2 as the Aggies hold on their home field 28-21. With that loss, we would drop from 7 to number 10 as we try to rebound here at home against Colorado. And Burley with the first catch of the game makes it a touchdown, 7-0 on the 16-yard reception. Next possession, Smothers back from the injury in a big way, connects again. There he is, Burley with another touchdown. Very next possession, let's make it a trifecta. Burley 15 yards out on the corner route, 21-0 Huskers. Second quarter, 21-0, and over the middle we find Janiron Bonner, 42 yards. Big play, capped off here, another corner out. This time he hits Sean Scott, 28-0. It's all Huskers as we continue to lay on the offense. Everybody getting involved in a huge re-debut for Smothers. It would be a 66-10 win, 7 touchdowns, nearly 400 yards, and Burley with 4 TD receptions as we get ready to take on number 12, Ohio State. 2nd and 5, Smothers rolling out, great pass, hits Irvin Jr., bouncing in, makes it a 1st and goal. Very next play, we connect inside. There is Ryan BOWMAN with the touchdown. 7-0 Huskers here on the road. Under pressure, 2nd and 10. There's a nice pass in the spin. Bonner takes it into the end zone. A 38-yard highlight-worthy top play. 14-7 now late in the first half, and here is BOWMAN, 14 yards, and that would set up a big touchdown run to make it a 2-possession game heading into the locker room. 21-14 as we pick up third quarter, under 3 minutes, and Smothers with a great juke, and he will take it to the house, 28-14 for the Huskers senior. 1:13 remaining in the third. Same score and nearly intercepted as a big stop there for the defense. And then an interception from Anderson as now the comeback is almost complete as we are now trailing in the fourth quarter with under a minute 30 remaining, 35-31. Burley with a nice catch downfield sets us into near field goal range, but we would need a touchdown. Under 10 seconds remaining and a connection on the slant. Coldest Crawford's pulls the Huskers ahead late here on the road as we would defeat Ohio State. Now get ready to take on the Trojans of USC. 1st and 10, we hit Brown on the curl, 13 yards. Very next play, though, unfortunately, intercepted by Bullock. And that would be a big play and propel USC to a lead here on the road. 20-14, fourth quarter as we jump ahead here, and this was a wild one. As on the wheel route, we hit Irvin Jr. He would take us across midfield on a big play. 3rd and 2, Smothers hands it off to Irvin Jr. on the counter. He picks up the big first down, puts us in the red zone. 2nd and 3 on the underneath throw to Fedone, the second, 1st and goal. And on 2nd and goal, we would hit on Bonner. Bonner would break through a tackle and get us near the end zone down at the 3, which would set up on 4th and goal the QB sneak, which would give us our first lead of the game here on the road. Just over a minute remaining, trailing by a touchdown, a huge conversion as Dakotas Crawford on the catch, and then Burley with another one over the defense would set up on this out route. Crawford, another catch, 1st and goal, which would be taken in by Irvin Jr., making us the game head to overtime. Fast forwarding 3rd overtime, trailing by 8. Smothers needs to get something going, but takes a 10-yard sack. Very next play, trying to get a little bit closer, but Brown drops the curl route pass, and on 3rd and 20 on the out route, Dakotas Crawford would set up this 4th and 4. A touchdown is a must. Smothers trying to get in the end zone, and he dives in. We are now a 2-point conversion away from heading to 4th overtime. So 2-point conversion. Smothers rolling out. He finds his target, Jones Jr., but it is dropped, and USC will escape with the victory here in their first matchup in the Big Ten against us. And with that loss, we would drop out of the top 10 now, and now number 4 in the Big Ten West as well, as now we got to head at home, take on the Nittany Lions of Penn State. And Bonner getting us started on the slant, 3rd and 2, no longer. And on a 2nd and 11, the corner route, ALANTE Brown sets up this 1st and goal, the read option, and Smothers makes it a 1-score game with 1:43 left in the half. 21-7 now inside 40 seconds, and Jones Jr. breaks the tackle 29 yards out. Once again, a 1-possession game heading into the locker room. 3rd quarter, 1:34 left, 1st and goal, and somehow we thread the needle there as Dakotas Crawford able to catch that ball. You see how tight that was. Tie ball game as BOWMAN Jr. showing you the finesse he has with a 15-yard run on the counter, and on the triple option, he took the hit, but BOWMAN takes it to the house. Our first lead of the game comes in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 1, Smothers takes the hit, but stands in as Dakotas Crawford mosses over the defense for a 41-yard reception. That play would set up a 1st and goal on the curl route. Burley in contest, but would take the touchdown 9 yards out, and we would hang on for a 35-21 victory, now heading on the road against Purdue. First big scoring play, Yant on the trickeration is a running back to running back catch on the reverse out. BOWMAN 15 yards out, touchdown Huskers. Fast forwarding ahead, 3rd quarter, 14-7, and a Smothers into the end zone makes it a 21-7 game with the rushing touchdown, and that would be it as we would hang on with the big win there on the road. 28-21, your final, puts us back now in the top 5 in the college football playoff ranking. So back at home, 2nd quarter, trailing 7-0 to Northwestern, and Smothers almost able to take this to the house with a big 25-yard run. Very next play, Smothers standing in. There's the corner out, but this time jumped by Johnson with a beautiful interception. But thankfully, the defense able to get the stops. And with under a minute remaining in the half, Dakotas Crawford would give us our first score tie game heading into the locker room. 3rd and 6, and there's just a terrible pass. Johnson with his 2nd INT of the game as Smothers struggling with 3 picks in the game, but Irvin Jr. showing you that he can still get through with a big play, which would set up just 2 plays later on the screen pass. Yant almost able to take this into the house for a touchdown, but just the very next play, Irvin Jr. on the trickeration out of the Wildcat to Dakotas Crawford. Touchdown, we're tied at 14. 4th quarter, 4 minutes remaining on the slant. There's Derek Pittman, 11 yards out, gives the Huskers the lead here in the 4th. And we would be able to hang on with a victory there. It wasn't pretty, but we got it done as we will now move on against the Fighting Illini of Illinois. On a read option, Smothers evades the tackle and walks it in, gives us the lead 14-7. Now, 2nd quarter. There's a nice play downfield off the play action. Janiron Bonner, and in the 30 seconds remaining, Burley, they're not done yet. This offense just wanted to keep clicking, and we'll hit on the curl. Bonner takes it into the end zone, 28-14 at the half. 31-17 as we pick up late 3rd quarter. 2nd and 18, and there's Fedone, the 2nd, with a huge 33-yard reception, which would be capped off by Irvin Jr. on the bubble. Takes it out And that would seal the deal, 45-24, a massive win. Now our 6th win on the year as we get ready for our top 10 road game against Wisconsin. Down early, 2nd and inches, and here is Yount with a touchdown run, 8 yards out, his first on the year, 7 all. And on 2nd and 12, 2nd quarter, another great pass over the middle, this time to Derek Pittman, and then the second pass right after that to Dakotas Crawford puts us at a 1st and goal, which will be walked in by Ryan Bowman. 14-7 Huskers lead here before the half. 3rd quarter, same score, and a wide open Fedone the tight end, able to convert on 3rd and 5, and then 2 plays later, 3rd and 1, wide open on the wheel is Ryan Bowman as he tries to jump over the defense. 1st down. 1st and goal, wide receiver screen, and no other than ALANTE Brown, 8 yards out, 21-7 Huskers. And on the next possession, 2nd and goal, threading the needle, Dakotas Crawford, another touchdown reception. It was all Huskers rolling here in this matchup against the Wisconsin Badgers, and ALANTE Brown with the highlight play on the spin move. 35-7 Huskers roll as a final of 49-14. Now number 2 in the nation, we have the number 12 recruiting class led by Ross, one of the best athletes, and also Dwayne McKinney. Big matchup here as it's a trap game against one of the worst teams in the country and in the Big Ten, but Gabe Irvin Jr. doing his part, but on this throw, underthrown as Mack will pick it off, a big play for the Golden Gophers. 3-0 deficit, seconds remaining as it counts down to 0 here in the first half, and the Smothers just trying to get something to go. He would find his target, Janiron Bonner, 13 yards out, give us a 7-3 lead at the half. 7-3, 3rd quarter, 3:03, and wide open ALANTE Brown bounces off one, gets the first, and on that play, unfortunately, Smothers would go down with a strained back, would not return for the remainder of the game. So Purdy, stepping in once again, finds Irvin Jr., breaks a tackle, and then on the triple option, Purdy takes the shot, but Irvin Jr. takes it to the house, makes it a 2-possession game for the Huskers. 17-3, screen pass, and we would seal the deal here. Irvin Jr. into the end zone with 2 minutes remaining in this game, as the Huskers would go on to find another victory and keep their road to potentially the college football playoff. Now just behind USC, big matchup against number 14 Iowa. Win this game and we make it to the college football playoff. But early on, it was all Iowa, 17-0, but Smothers on a 3rd and goal gets us near on the board. It's almost picked, and we would have to settle for the field goal. 3rd quarter now, Bonner finally gets us out with a 20-yard touchdown reception, makes it a 1-possession game. And on this next play, down big as the defense continued to let us down. 31 now, 17, trying to come back here on our home field, and it would not be easy. 2 minutes remaining. Irvin Jr. doing his part, makes it a 1st and 10 as we try to drive down the field, and we would, as it's 33-23. We need the 2-point conversion, but we wouldn't get it as it's dropped in the end zone, and unfortunately, on our home field, we would be upset and drop out of the college football playoff picture, as Donovan Edwards from Michigan would go on to win this year's Heisman. Here's your look at the college football playoff, led by USC, Utah, TCU, and Ohio. And in the first matchup, Ohio would be destroyed by USC 42-24, and TCU would defeat Utah 34-30. For our matchup in our bowl game, we get ready for Georgia in the Outback Bowl. This would be a big game, but unfortunately in this bowl game, Smothers, Irvin Jr., and Brown would sit out and opt out for this matchup because they were preparing for the next level in the NFL draft. So a lot of backups getting a chance to play and start in this one against Georgia. 3rd and 10, Purdy connects to Jones Jr., gives us the early lead, 6-0 after a missed PAT. As we pick up now late in the 2nd quarter, 7-6 deficit, and a pass underthrown and undercut by Green. A nice interception. First big mistake for Purdy on the day. But connecting now here to Burley, makes it a 15-yard catch as we would go down at the half, and now 2nd half. Bonner, 3rd and 9, conversion. On 4th and 10, we needed to get this one, but a terrible throw, a turnover on downs. 4th quarter, 21-9, Purdy, again a terrible pass read by Ringo, and Ringo would set them up near midfield. 21-9, the defense getting the stops we need, and Pittman finds his way through the defense into the end zone, makes it now a 1-possession game with under 2 minutes remaining here in this bowl game. And yet again, the defense with the stop sets us up near midfield as Jones Jr. on the out route, nice catch. First and 10, very next play, and Bonner this time with a catch, 10 yards. We're marching down the field, but on that pass, hit as we threw, and it would be picked by Everett, which would seal the deal for the Bulldogs of Georgia. Third turnover on the game, and unfortunately, we would lose the last 2 games of the season, a season that saw USC come in to the Big Ten and win the national championship in their first year, 38-17. And Smothers left his legacy, had a great season for the Huskers as he continued to improve year to year, as did Irvin Jr., Crawford, Bonner, Brown, and Burley. Tremendous receiving core. But the question would be, where would we go from here? Would we continue to stay at Nebraska as their coordinator, or would we take our talents as a head coach elsewhere in the country?